Ladies and gentlemen, today I am up bright and early due to our international cast here of racers because we're doing a Jump King Quest speedrunning race with the top 3 players in the world. And I have the privilege of hosting it, which is actually pretty sweet. Their times hover around 30 minutes, so they're kind of cracked. They're kind of insane. Because this is not an easy game. It's one of the hardest games out there right now. Combining Jump King and Dark Souls elements with boss battles, weapon choices, stat increases, RPG elements. It's fighting, it's fast movement, fast jumping, precise jumping. It's one of the craziest, most difficult speedruns I've seen. Just in terms of a base normal game. It's a tough endeavor. But let me introduce our competitors a little more deeply. Up first, we have Titus. He's a Polish man who's Jump King Quest's #1 fanboy, as stated by himself. This is not me putting that onto him. He said this himself. He's been very active in the game's development and very interested in the speedrun. He helped push the Jump King Quest wiki to life. He's the man who wrote all the stuff on the wiki that you'll see if you look up the Jump King Quest wiki. He's a consistent organizer of community events for Jump King Quests, including speedrun races and a 1v1 tournament. And he's also active in the game, constantly speedrunning, trying to set a new personal best. And also first place on the leaderboard. So he's our world record holder right now, as it currently stands. Moving on to our second competitor, Razzi, or RazziFazzi, who hails from the land of Germany. He has shown interest in speedrunning since the game's launch. Since that first completion, he was hungry for more. He's optimized and improved the record many times. He's an innovator. Titus apparently didn't write the wiki himself. Apparently, he was just the organizer of it, bringing it to life. Razzi was the first person to dip the record below 40 minutes. So an early pusher of the world record. Him and Dolpin are pretty even in skill level. They're practically tied on their times currently. And he wanted me to mention that his favorite country is France. So, German man who loves France. Ghostwriter then? Yeah, it is a ghost. It is ghost written. I don't know these guys personally. I'm just here to push the good word of Jump King Quest. Last but not least, our last competitor is Dolpin, who is a Korean player. It's Dolpin, not Dolphin. There's no H in his name. He submitted to Speedrun.com recently and cut his time down insanely quickly. Probably thanks to his OG Jump King experience. He's a very talented player on the original Jump King games maps. So Jump King Quest kind of came naturally because he's already got the movement down. So all that it took was to learn the combat and the fighting, and immediately good player. He's already participated in an official event in the Super Speedrun Marathon 5, where he ran Jump King Quest for an audience in a live setting, which is crazy. He basically, it's like a big speedrunning event similar to something like AGDQ, where he brought the game to a live audience and ran it, which is insane. That's great exposure for the game and a really cool opportunity. That's awesome. But there you have it. Those are our 3 competitors. We have, again, Titus versus Razzi versus Dolpin, the 3 best players in the world at Jump King Quest speedrunning. And we're in for a super exciting race. I will be your host, DanCorona, here on my channel, where I'll be explaining the run, giving you a bit of lore, a bit of background, information on the skips, why the players do certain things during the run in order to optimize time. Hi, Chelsea. I'm hosting a speedrunning race. And yeah, there's a lot of cool little things that they'll do in the run that will need a little bit of explanation, and a couple crazy skips that will also I will explain to my best ability. But yeah, it's an early morning because it's a Polish runner versus a German runner versus a Korean runner, so we're kind of in the middle of all the time zones, you know. Pretty cool, pretty cool. But yeah, I have my wall of notes. Hopefully I don't have to look at this too much because it's all up here. I myself have speedrun the game a little bit, although my time isn't nearly as good as these guys. They're like I said, they're close to 30 minutes, and I am at an hour, 8 minutes, and 26 seconds, which is still pretty good. It's not bad, but no, I'm not. They're on another level. Their boss executions, you'll see, are insane. They literally parry, don't take hits, and just power through with base gear. And we're about to see some real talent on display today. I'm looking over at the competitors right now. There's some practice being put in. Looks like Razzi's fighting Don. Actually, I can switch over and show you guys. Check this out. Oh, sneak peek. Razzi's fighting Fat Don right now, and the other two are sitting and waiting as the race will begin practically in a minute or two. So let's go ahead and pause the music. We don't need that anymore. And then I'll go here and I'll mute desktop audio because we don't need that. And then we'll hop in here and see if all our competitors are ready. Oh my god, I'm excited. A little nervous. I'll see if I'll try to explain things to the best of my ability and move to everyone's POVs properly. So, DanCorona night, get stuck in the freeze, we could be all cool and hang out and lose power together. We'll see. I have a lot of work to do today, Chelsea. So, we'll see what happens. I need to write like 2 scripts, and then I should be good. I need to voice at least one of them too. Why is this not screwing it? Oh, whatever. All right, let's undeafen and see what's going on with our competitors. All right, lads. It's 8 a.m. It's almost race time, or at least for me. For you guys, it's different times. But it's race time. If you could all head to the character creation menu, I can give the countdown, and we can begin this competition, where the best man will come out on top. Hype for Razzi. Razzi's got fans in the chat. Let's go, Razzi. The luckiest man win. There's a bit of luck involved in boss animations and stuff, so we're gonna see how these 3 deal with the random encounters here with our bosses. Okay. So, just a quick side note on character creation. In general, it's better to choose like a lighter skin tone because it's easier to see. It pops out from the background for the beginning of the run. The prison's a little dark and grungy. We're gonna choose the devoted here because of the stat lines giving metal, composure, crudeness, and faith, which faith will be important because we're gonna switch that over to spite later. But I will keep you updated on that. And it's more about the weapon choice, really. Like the wandering, or what is it called? The wandering stick is a very quick weapon choice that allows you to switch to shield really fast. So the devoted is going to be the class that everyone's going to pick here for the run. But gentlemen, if everyone's ready, I will give the countdown. Let me just make sure my timer is working. It is. Beautiful. And then It looks like everyone's at the screen. All right. As long as everyone's ready, we'll start the race in 3, 2, 1. Good luck, gentlemen. Go for it. Go for it. All right. I will mute up, of course. And we're off. Okay, so we're into the Redfin prison. So the Redfin prison, you actually start on this little platform in the bottom right, and you need to jump left into the mud or up top and jump back to the platform to trigger the guy walking up top, which is Percy. He is your cousin, technically. In terms of lore, in Jump King Quest, a plague called Armaboggin is coming to the world. It's like basically like a giant swamp called the Bog, which is like a miserable area from Jump King Map 3, Ghost of the Babe. It's going to swallow the world, essentially. It's a terrible fate, and the prophecy says that a Redfin will rise from the depths of the land. So someone, and a villain perhaps, locked away all the Redfins in prison, which is what we are. We're a Redfin. We're locked away, and Percy comes and gives us a key. As you see, Tai2's already exiting. He gives us a key to leave the prison. And he wants our help to defeat the evildoers who are seeking the Babe of Power at the top of the world. So, let me just see here. There's a chat has popped up here. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so everyone is currently ascending through the prison. Let's see who the first one to get the metal pipe will be. The metal pipe is our starting weapon that we're going to need to break a wooden wall that is in the way. And also fight, the enemies in the prison, of course. It's actually possible to skip the wooden wall, as you see Tai2's here, this wooden wall on the right. It's possible to skip it and not grab the metal pipe, which is faster, but you do need the metal pipe to kill a mini-boss, which is mandatory to progress. So Razzi's going to be the first one to grab, or not Razzi, Tai2's going to be the first one to grab the metal pipe. He's going to equip it while in the loading screen, while changing through the door, and keep ascending up through the prison. We're going to see him break this wooden wall here, which he actually does some jump resets to reset his end lag on the combo, the 2-hit combo there. And he's going to hit the full hops to ascend through the prison. Okay. Something about the metal pipe is that actually it's what should we call it? It has variation. Like when you pick up a weapon, the calibration is random here. Will he hit the jump? Oh, he hits the jump first try. Takes out the prison guard in 5 hits. 5 hits is a little rough. Sometimes you can get it in 4. It's actually possible, because of the calibration thing I was talking about, to kill the prison guard in 2 hits. If you get... The basic calibration changes the stats and sometimes makes it stronger with your, base stats you have, like faith or metal. And at its best, it kills that prison guard in 2 hits, and at its worst, it can give you like an extra hit than like an average calibration for the metal pipe. So there's a little bit of randomness and variation. Oh, a little bit of a fall there from Tai2's in the early prison. Let's check back in on the multicam here. Who should we listen into? Let's listen into Razzi, actually, because he is the first one to the chest room where he's going to get his gear here. They basically only equip the shield and the actually he did equip the armor. They usually only equip the shield and the weapon for this fight because that's like as much as you can equip mid-jump while you're jumping through the boss door. As you can see, like Tai2's here in the bottom has only the shield mode. Clean execution from Razzi, taking out the warden. Looks like Tai2's is the last one after that jump to kill the warden. But everyone is leaving the prison now and heading into the first area of the game, first official area, Red Crown Woods. You can see in the top left, Tai2's there as he's falling out of the prison, equips all his armor, whereas Razzi and Dolpin, I think, both had the armor equipped before the boss fight. So technically they lost a little bit of time. It's quicker to just equip the weapon and the shield in midair on the way to the boss door, and then equip the armor while you're falling out. But, you know, it's fractions of a second. Maybe the other two are playing it safe. You never know. So now we're into Red Crown Woods, where there's a lot of side areas which have easier jumps and maybe some enemies and some mini-bosses as you snake up this area. But there are a couple more original Jump King-esque difficulty jumps as you traverse just straight up the center of this this area. And then as you can see, there's one little side area you need to go into here that Tytus and Razzie are in currently. Let's see who's the first to exit Red Crown Woods is. It looks like Dolpin is actually going to be the first one. Look at this. Okay, so Dolpin's going to walk left there after coming out of the door to activate the teleporter before heading further up in the area. And then there's a door there on the right that is actually locked. So we're going to need to go up to the left here to go to a different area, which was added in the Red Crown update. It wasn't originally like that. They're going to head up to this door up here in order to unlock it and get a key. But we need to go through the abandoned ruins first. So let me just hide the chat here. So he's going to do a nice ceiling jump there to bonk off the ceiling over that archer and avoid him. A lot of the Jump King Quest movement is going to be how can we avoid as many enemies as possible. Well, he's actually going to open the door there and get hits, which is unfortunate. But he's going to head into this area now where he will drop down, which triggers this enemy immediately. And then he's got like 2 attacks that are safe to open the chest and 1 attack that will hit you. It looks like Dolpin succeeds there, gets the key, and gets out. But that key is not for the door. That key is actually going to be for... Oh, it looks like Razzie got hit as well. And Tytus got hit. Okay, so everyone's getting hit there. Dolphin looks like he's healed up. So he's going to be full health going into the first, or I guess second boss of the speedrun, Oinkos, which is this pig guy who is holding... here, I'll switch over the audio to Dolpin. It's this pig guy who owns this big, like, cleaver type enemy. It's like a giant greatsword cleaver. Pretty standard boss fight for the run. It's just going to be a lot of trying to parry, hit stun, great hit stun there, and then spam away, and Oinkos is defeated. He's got a lot of stun potential where he just gets stun locked and you can wail on him. So it's looking like Dolpin's the first one out, and he's going to use this teleporter outside of the boss arena, this is actually a dead-end area. And he's going to TP back to the teleporter that he walked left originally when entering this area to activate, to quickly head back to the junction here, where he can use the key he just got from Oinkos to unlock the door and head further into the run. So it looks like Dolpin is the first to head now. He's in the lead with a very nice Oinkos fight. All right. So the next thing they're going to do is be heading up through Red Crown Woods, what they call Lower Red Crown. Which there's a boss at the top of this area called the Red Crown Cavalry, which is like basically one of these like knight enemies right there with the sword on the back of a frog, like a giant frog with a lance. And it's supposed to be like a pretty early roadblock, one of the more difficult earlier bosses. But instead, there's an area right here called Culprit's Cavern, which basically has a bunch of enemies and a couple difficult jumps. But if you could make it up through this, as Dolpin is, while avoiding all the enemies, it just skips the Red Crown Cavalry fight, and we just ignore it. We move straight past it. And it looks like no mistakes there. Dolpin's just going to avoid getting hit by all the enemies. Let's check in on Tytus, who's also in Culprit's Cavern, slightly behind. Gets under that enemy as he jump attacks. Nice, very nice. And Tytus is going to make it cleanly. Razzie also making it out pretty cleanly, it looks like. But let's head back to the leader, Dolpin, who's going it looks like he went into the tower to ascend up here. Which, tower, you don't have to go into the tower. He's going to open his inventory to skip that dialogue. So that Black Knight just jumped down right there. Let's see if we can see it again with Razzie. Razzie, who also went into the tower. That Black Knight jumps down and stops you in basically like a dialogue cutscene where you're stuck standing still talking to him. But if you take out your shield, there's open your inventory, there's a 10-frame window with which Razzie just did, taking out his shield. Taking out your shield or opening your inventory has a 10-frame window of just skipping the dialogue and allowing you to keep moving. Which it seems like all of them have hit so far. Let's check back in on Dolpin, who's heading upwards through the area, avoiding all the enemies. This is a tough area. There's a lot of enemies who all chase you around. It's really annoying. Dolpin there, you see him quitting out to the main menu and reloading. That's because that can unload the enemies and get them to de-aggro from you. Which can be really convenient. Okay, so right now what's happening, they're all going for Black Knight skip, which basically is, there's a boss battle here at the top of this treehouse area, which has the Black Knight fight. But you can actually skip it by getting hit right here and dying, which makes you fall past the barrier, which you usually need a key for, and get to the left side of the treehouse area, which Dolpin just did successfully. Let's check it on Tai2's. Tai2's also hits it successfully. And I'll explain it as Razzie does it. Basically, you need to be close, basically get close to death, and let this guy kill you at a certain lineup. Look, he's just trying to get hit so that he can be like 1 HP, essentially. You want to get hit at a certain lineup where it shoots you left and makes you bounce on the floor first, not the left wall. You need to bounce on the floor so that you hit the floor and your momentum keeps you going left. If you hit the wall, your momentum will go back to the right. And then as long as you hit the floor first on death, your momentum will carry you through the light. The momentum will carry you to the left through the wall and the barrier and then end up on the other side of the locked key door, basically. Which they all hit successfully. And now let's check it on Tai2's audio. Who is going to be entering the high order encampment, which actually Dolpin is already in. This is another high enemy area that's super difficult to path through. You see Dolpin's quitting out there to try to unload the enemies so he doesn't take any damage. This actually is another dialogue skip here where a fly will stop you and tell you about a debt that you've now incurred because he talked to you. But there's a jump where you can skip it, which they have all, or the two of them have done. Razzie's a bit behind here, now entering the high order encampment area. Let's check it on Dolpin here, who's going to be opening this chest at the top of the area, which gives you the Gladius Dagger, which is another like small, lightweight item, which is a little bit stronger because he's going to be fighting our guy Noscombe here, General Noscombe, who is one of the most unpredictable bosses in the game. He's got this giant shield and this big great axe, and he's really a pain in the ass. Parries are key here, which he gets. Dolpin hits the parries, hits 2 parries, and now Noscombe's in a low HP scenario. Oh, but he gets shoulder bash. That's bad. He's gonna heal, play it safe. The arrow's gonna come in. Second phase, half health. He starts launching arrows. Okay, that's a good animation, but he interrupts it second phase as well. But he's going to get another parry and take out Noscombe first try. Well done, Dolphin. That's actually clutch. I'm not kidding. Noscombe is a rough fight. It is not easy. It is essentially a run-ender in these types of speedrun scenarios. So let's check in on Tai2's, how he's doing with Noscombe. Another parry there for him. He's going to take out Noscombe first try. That's very well done. Let's head over to Razzie and see how Razzie's doing. Razzie gets a parry. He's stabbing away. As you can see, at some point, they all equipped the boar head from Winkos. For a little bit more armor. Okay, blocking the arrows. Let's see. The shoulder bash. Oh, it's bad. He gets staggered. Staggered by the shield. Staggered again. No, that's a death from Razzie. That's unfortunate. Like I said, Noscombe is no joke. This guy is unpredictable. He cancels animation second phase. He has the arrows. He has a very high stagger amount, which can be really bad. But let's head back to the multicam here as Titus and Dolpin are first try no-scope heading through the sewers now. Which the sewers is another interesting area. There's a lot of back-to-back tough areas here with the treehouse, the high order encampment, and now the sewers. There's these rat enemies who have metal pipes, which are a bit tricky, and they move around pretty fast. And then there's the fly enemies, as you'll see, who also are a pain in the ass. They fly around, they kick you, they're nasty. It's not fun if you get caught by them. But they are sort of easy to jump around and skip because they're smaller, you know. Smaller enemies. They're not big knights. So Dolpin's the first one into the room where he's going to grab this key to unlock the center door. It's the secret sewer key. He's going to unload the enemies to not take any damage. It's actually interesting. The enemies in that room are random. So you can get any combination of frogs, rats, or flies. But what's also interesting is that they fight each other sometimes. So they could either screw you over or you could get really lucky, but typically the players are just going to unload the enemies. It looks like Razzie has beat No-Scum and is now heading into the sewers. Great recovery from Razzie to not get stuck on No-Scum for more than one death. Dolpin takes a fall, so now it looks like Titus might be in the lead here. No, Titus also took a fall? Maybe? I don't know. No, they're at the same spot. Okay, interesting. Dolpin's fall puts him back, so he's now even with Titus. Who Titus still has to get the key, I think, here. So let's see what enemies he gets. He gets a rat, 2 flies, and a frog. Which the rat and the flyer are fighting each other. Which is interesting. He's going to quit out to unload the enemy so we can grab the key safely. And then he's going to jump up here, open the key door here. Unload again so he doesn't take damage. Because he still needs to open the door. And then head through. Which now gets him to the top side of the sewers, which I think Dolpin dies to a poison mushroom. Interesting. Okay, so Dolpin's gonna have to go back through the door to head up to the upper sewers area. It's a rough area, I'm not gonna lie. It is a tough area, especially with the poison mushrooms, which they just place in the path, which just, if you touch them, they explode and do poison damage, which builds up like a meter, you know. I believe it's called something else, but Titus is the first one onto the Fat Don fight, which Fat Don is a giant fly. He's the leader of the flies that are here in the sewers. And he's got these 2 fly swatter weapons, which he swings around and spins and does a bunch of multi-hit attacks, which can be hard to read the first time you're fighting. He also gets a bit faster and switches directions in the second phase. Oh, he gets hit as he's jumping up. That's unlucky. He's going to take a heal here to refresh, and then he's 1 HP. He's 1 HP, Titus. There it is. Titus gets the Fat Don kill. First try. Titus comfortably in the lead now after Dolpin has a little bit of falls. Razzie, it looks like, is fighting Fat Don as well. And it looks like Dolpin just entered as well here on the bottom left. Razzie's going to, using the Gladius, get a parry in and stab away at Fat Don. Another parry. Okay. Great execution. Razzie, who failed the No-Scum fight first try, has now essentially caught up to Dolpin, who had some falls in the sewer. Some deaths. But Fat Don is defeated by Razzie, as we see Dolpin now fighting him. Let's see how Dolpin fares with the Fat Don fight. He's pretty big, and even though his attacks come quick, he's kind of slow and his attacks are kind of readable. Although the cramped nature of the arena is not fun if you're not fighting in the right area. Luckily, they can all kite him pretty well to this top right area of this main central platform, which is essentially the best place to fight him because you can jump down and jump back up like so. He will follow you, but he's going to back up to the corner here and get a heal. And hopefully take him out first try. But let's switch over to Titus, who's in the bog. So after this Fat Don fight, you go through like a city sort of area that Razzie's in, where it's kind of like there's like a little cutscene where you talk to all like Percy and the people who are all the good guys, and then you're gonna jump into the bog like so, because the jump is actually too wide for you to jump as Percy jumps and you fail it. So you end up in the bog, and then you end up climbing out of the bog, like Titus just did with Bog Beach. But let me jump over to Razzie to show you the bog route. So, interestingly enough, the difference between this game and Jump King Original is that you get basically a double jump in water. So you get like a swim jump, where if you hold space midair, you get like an extra little swim kick, which they're going to use to essentially skip most of the area and just go up centrally to hit this route, basically. Which this is the hardest jump right here. You got to jump left, swim jump back to the right to that little ledge. And then once you go up here, you can swim jump full hop to the right and exit through this little wooden bridge right there. Dolpin looks like he's struggling a little bit with Fat Don. I think he died in game, but yeah, he's got his remembrance. The souls basically there on the ground. So he's struggling a little bit. Let's head up to the multicam, where Tai2's actually has the damp rusted key and is heading out of this little bog beach area. The damp rusting key is needed to exit this area, where he's going to hit another dialogue skip. Tai2's right there. He skips the Krulk minion there. Krulk is actually revealed to be one of the evil guys, which is funny. He I don't know if you saw that. He froze for a second. Here he's going to level up his faith as much as he can and upgrade his shield with filaments they've been regularly picking up. The shield is good to upgrade because it lowers your meter in the top left there. It lowers your ability to get staggered the better shield you have. And also, once you get shield broken, you take damage relative to your shield's health or your shield's level. So it's not necessary, but to play it safe, they all upgrade their shields for later in the run so they can tank a hit if needed. But otherwise, with perfect boss execution, you wouldn't need it. Tai2 is going to be the first to grab the Bozo armor set, where there's actually a trap there where the enemy drops out of the ceiling and attacks you, but he's going to unload, which unloads the trap enemy, and grab the Bozo armor set, which he's going to equip while heading through this door, I believe. And it looks like Razzie is also into the same area. He's going to grab the Bozo armor set here in a second. But let's keep on Tai2's. He's in the lead. He's going to go to this gargoyle here, which actually he's going to switch his faith stat, which he just leveled up, to Spite, because Spite is really good with the last two weapons we're going to be using, which the Bozo armor set also actually buffs. So now he's got the armor set and switching faith stat to Spite, which he leveled up as much as he could, which buffs the Don's Fly Swatter's weapon, which he's now equipped, which is basically one Fly Swatter in each hand, and it swings around nicely and wildly. It's got great damage output, great stun. It's my favorite weapon in the game. Maybe the Balding Stars. I like those two-handed single weapon, single hand weapons. Some of my favorites. Tai2's heading through the bird area right now, which is actually a miserable area. These birds do not play around. They fly around and swoop all over the place. Hard to kill, hard to avoid, even when you're not trying to kill them in the speedrun. Yeah, just not fun. Let's see. There's something I missed from this area. We're gonna check in on Dolpin and see before hopefully Tai2's gets to the boss. Okay, so this area you need a key to exit, right? So you're going to go into the side room, and there's a bunch of enemies here. And previously, this is one of the hardest rooms in the game. There's a lot of axe throwers who are incredibly accurate. But that chest there's a trap enemy. But if you unload or quit out, it unloads all the enemies, which allows you to grab the chest for free, get the key, and exit. So the quitting out, unloading enemies is actually pretty key here. So Tai2's right there. Entered the boss arena, which is versus this giant blackbird, and then there's two like extra little birds that'll fight with him. But if you jump into the left corner and unload the enemies, you can basically only aggro the blackbird while already in the boss arena, and then basically fight him in this corner in a 1v1. So you ignore the other two enemies, which are usually a hassle during the fight. Which, as you saw there, Tai2's dealt with it immaculately, and Razzie's doing the same strategy, which is just 1v1 fight in the corner. He's having a little bit of a tough time. He's got some bad animations there with that wind charge, which does a lot of stagger from the guy's tail. It is a little bit of luck. You want good animations there when you have the 1v1 in the corner. So unlucky for Tai2's, but or unlucky for Razzie. But Tai2's is flying through the run now, heading into the Cockatrice, which another big roadblock boss. Very difficult first time around. I will say, one of the most readable bosses in the game. Its animations are pretty telegraphed, and you can kind of kite it really well, because he does this like step back move, which allows you to take space and keep like basically center, like that step back move right there. Allows you to keep the center of the boss arena. He does have a tail attack, so he's going to block that and actually take the shield damage. But yeah, what originally ends up being a very different boss fight to most of the boss fights in the game so far because of its size and the amount of stagger it does. You don't really want to block a lot. It's more of a dodging fight and kiting fight. Because this guy can push you into a corner really easily and then just mess you up. And also, halfway through the fight, these boulders start falling from the ceiling right there, which do damage to you. So you have to space not only the boss, but also space the boulders as they fall. Which is really tough. But Tai2's first try taking out the Cockatrice, and he's going to get a new weapon, which he just equipped right there, called the Cock's Foot, which is actually a foot of the Cockatrice, and it's the last weapon we're going to be switching to for this run. Also scales with Spite, has a lot of stagger build, so it's really nice for these last couple bosses. And Tai2's is now going to be heading up to the next area of Fungal Fields through all these enemies. So while he's doing that, let's check in on our multicam. We're going to see Razzie heading up to the Cockatrice fight and Dolpin lagging a little bit behind, heading up to the bird fight where she's also going to unload right there as you see in the top right. Now he can jump straight up to just aggro the blackbird and keep the other two birds off of him as he just fights the blackbird in the corner. Also not getting great animations. Oh, he gets pushed too. Oh, and he dies. It's tough. Yeah, that tail swipe and the multi-attack with the feet really is not ideal for that corner scenario. But let's check in on Tai2's as he's heading up through Fungal Fields right now. He's going to go to the left and play it safe and level with Igor. You don't actually have to do it now, but he's going to level up his shield, his Spite, and also upgrade his shield. Let's check in on Razzie with the Cockatrice fight. Seems to be doing well. Already at half health. He brings out this new attack where he kind of rushes the whole stage right there at half health. Oh, he staggers Cockatrice. That's actually crazy. Okay, the Cockatrice has a really high stagger meter. It's really hard to stun him. But Razzie gets it just through pure just aggro, basically. That's crazy. Insane. That's actually insane. Holy shit. Insane, Razzie. Nice work. That's a fast Cockatrice fight right there. So he's actually going to potentially gain some time on Razzie with that. Or on Tai2's, I mean. With that Cockatrice execution. Let's check it on Tai2's, who's at the top of Fungal Fields now, which is a rough area filled with poison mushrooms, filled with these fart enemies, the green guys, and then also these little stabby hooded guys who are really tough. But now he's on to the Grudas Champion, which is the most unpredictable boss in the game. Probably the hardest boss in the speedrun, I'll say. But with the Cock's Foot, it's basically how fast can you stagger him and stun him by just wailing away. But he gets caught by a move there, which is also a multi-hit attack that can keep you in it and actually kill you in one animation, which is tough. But this guy's very erratic, and he swings back and forth a lot. Jumps through the air, hits you with his feet when on landing. It's a really tough, unpredictable fight. Razzie just has to clutch and close it out here. Oh, and she misses! But he's one hit left, and he does it. First try, Tai2's on the Grudas Champion. That's insane. Tai2's actually having the run of his life right now. It's not going to be a record or a personal best or anything, I don't think. But he's actually flying, and he's going to be entering the top of Fungal Fields, where he'll level up his Spite stat to try to max out the enemy's damage output as he keeps going. Let's head over to multicam as Dolpin is fighting the Cockatrice, and Razzie is heading through. Look how many enemies Razzie has right here through Fungal Fields. Like, he's just dragging a bunch of these little hooded guys with the swords. And up top, there's two more, and also a green fart enemy with the flail here. And also, there's another flail enemy up top. He's going to land on a poison mushroom. Actually, he avoids it, interestingly enough. And he's going to be heading into the Grudas Champion. It looks like Tai2's is heading through the top of Fungal Fields, while Dolpin just defeated the Cockatrice. And now we're going to see Razzi's execution of the Graz champion. Let's see how he deals with it. Again, most unpredictable, tough boss fight in the speedrun. Oh, he actually gets comboed and basically one-shot by a combo. That's like a 3-hit combo there that can completely wipe out all your health in the speedrun with your low level and low armor class. That's an unfortunate death, but literally that guy can combo you and kill you in one hit. It's crazy. But let's check out back in with Ty2's here, which is he's now in the Fortress of the Famished, which is the last area of the game. Has a ton of these sort of weaker base enemies and these big guys which have a ton of health, a ton of reach with their giant weapons. The reason it's called the Fortress of the Famished actually is because the leader, which we'll see, of this fortress is a big old fat guy, and he keeps all the food to himself in the upper layers of the castle while all these people down here starve. We're going to see Ty2's now fighting McChicken, who is this one of those fat sort of lackeys of the leader of this fortress with a giant shield on his face. So you can't attack from the front because he will just essentially parry you and start attacking. But if you can get behind him and whack him in the butt, it's free damage. And his animations kind of keep him slow, so you can whack at him a lot. There's also these guys up top pouring sand down into the arena, which can do damage to you, but they're pretty easy to avoid. Another nice boss execution, first try, McChicken, from Ty2's, as he's going to be heading up into the upper layers of the Fortress of the Famished. Heading in basically towards the final boss. There's only one boss left for Ty2's at this point. Let's check back in with Razzi. Fighting the Gruda's champion again, who is on low HP, and he can maybe get it here. A little stun there. Okay, and perfect. Razzi is now through the Gruda's champion and heading up into the Fortress of the Famished. Again, like a really unpredictable, tough boss fight. The Gruda's champion. It is quite the pain in the ass. He's very unpredictable and very hard to get in on. But the Cock's Foot weapon has a lot of stun, a lot of stagger, which is really nice. Let's check it on Dolpin fighting the Gruda's champion here. He is wailing away, getting a lot of stun, a lot of stagger. Good block there. See, he went for an attack and then turns around. He's actually so tricky. And then he backs. He does that backup animation. Oh, that's tough. Okay, he lives, though. He lives through the combo. That doesn't reach him. He's going to wail away and get the kill. So now everyone should be heading into the Fortress of the Famished. Razzi seems like he's heading in right now. Let's check back in on Ty2's, who is unloading enemies in this chandelier, or this archer room. He unloads the one big enemy, who is the real pain in the ass in this area. He'll chase you around and stop you from opening the chest without killing him. But with a little quit out, Ty2's unloads him and then, you know, just avoids these archers to open the chest, get the key, and then unlock this door and progress onwards into the kitchen, which, again, this is where all the food's being held for our big guy who owns, or basically runs, or leads the Fortress of the Famished. His name is Nodric. He's the final boss of the speedrun currently. Ty2's having a little bit of trouble with the enemies getting in his way. He's gonna be just wailing away on them, trying to get through. Just get out of my way. The archer's gonna give him some trouble maybe. Nope, he gets behind him. Very nice. Heads over into the chandelier room, which is the last room before the final boss. We're going to check back in on Razzi really quickly, who is fighting McChicken. McChicken does this sort of attack where he slides on his shield through the arena and then ends up turned around, so you just stay away from him. You can get behind him and do some good damage. He's going to stagger him, which is good. I think he's going to be successful here. Let's check back in on Ty2's, who is unloading all the enemies that are in these. Basically, there's a lot of archers that spawn in these chandeliers. And you basically just avoid all the enemies, jump up onto the chandeliers, quit out to unload them all, and now Ty2's is onto the final boss, who is Nodric. Lord Nodric. He's this basically big old fat guy who wields a soup ladle and is suspended by wires as he floats around in the air through the arena and does big sweeping attacks. Essentially, he's a high health enemy who hits hard, but mostly sweeps you towards the edges and knocks you out of the arena, basically resetting the fight. So your goal in this fight, especially for the speedrun, is to hit him in the air as much as possible with straight up jumping attacks, and then just avoid damage as much as possible and wail on him. But really the key is to get as many mid-air attacks as possible. And also kind of stay elevated. You kind of want to be on these like little raised side platforms for most of the fight. That's the easiest way to dodge the thing. At half health, he drops these extra enemies into the arena. Ooh, which actually end up knocking Taitoos out of the fight. So he does not get the first try final boss, which maybe opens up a little bit of opportunity for the rest of the boys. Which Dolpin just defeated McChicken. He's now into the upper castle area, and Razzie is steaming through the upper castle area right now. Razzie's almost to the chambers before Nodric. The problem with the other two is they still have to unload the big enemy, get the key, unlock the door, you know, get to the chandelier room, unload those enemies. So it's not exactly a hop, skip, and a jump before the final boss. They still have some work to do. Dolpin now up heading through the upper castle area with all these big enemies and these guys throwing sand. Looks like Taitoos is back in the chandelier room. Razzie's now entering the kitchen where he's going to unload the big guy and then go for the key. Taitoos trying to skip the archers. He's having a little bit of trouble. The archers are a pain in the ass. Look how many there are in the chandeliers. He's going to brute force it, goes through them, successfully dodging all of them. He's going to use these golden pots to get more slices of the hot dog, which is the healing item in this game. Basically your Estus flask. But let's head back into Taitoos, who's going to re-attempt this final fight. Still in the lead. Lost a bit of time with the first failure, but let's see how he fares second time around. Okay, jumping attacks, blocking the sweep, the ladle sweep, wailing as much as he can on him while he's in between attacks. He's very slow and methodical boss. Very telegraphed attacks, but sometimes you can get caught because they have a lot of similar animations. Gets a stun, actually, which he's going to be able to completely just take out this guy's health bar down to half health, where he's going to drop the extra enemies into the arena and start T-posing. It's actually in the second phase where he starts to bring out a crossbow, which maybe we'll see. He's going to go for the sweeping attack. He actually just takes out all his extra enemies, so you can kind of ignore them. Let's see if he takes out the crossbow. No, he's going for another sweeping attack, which Taitoos just going to head to the other side of the arena and avoid. And he gets a little faster there. He just basically did a second sweeping attack after already doing a sweeping attack. There's another sweeping attack. Not taking out the crossbow. Another sweeping attack. Oh, he's going to get shield broken, which is fine, but got to be careful here. This is his giant ground pound attack, which is just a slow sweeping thing. As long as you're on the elevated platform, you're fine. More air hits. Another sweeping attack. He blocks. Oh, he gets shield broken, but he's fine. Oh, he's 1 HP. He's got a heal here. Okay, he's fine. Just play it safe, Taitoos. Razzie's right on your heels, so you need to finish the fight right now to win the race. Razzie's also into the Nodric fight. And Dolpin's also into the Nodric fight. So now we have all three into the Nodric fight. We'll stay on Taitoos' audio here as he has the boss as low as possible. A couple more hits. He needs literally one more hit. There it is. Taitoos takes out Nodric, and Taitoos is going to be the winner of the race. As long as he doesn't miss any jumps, all he has to do is make it through the attic here. Unfortunate, Dolphin gets swept out of the arena. And Taitoos is going to be the winner of the race. Let's stop the timer there. 38-41 by my count. It looks like by his count, he's got a 37-39 with the, because I think the timer stops while you're quitting out and unloading enemies, you know. But Taitoos is gonna take the event with a solid victory, basically one boss ahead. And Razzie's gonna actually take out Nodric as well. I think that's first try for Razzie, I want to say. I was locked in on Taitoos, but I think Razzie just one-tried Nodric and is going to be essentially 30 seconds behind. So pretty close. A 37-39 versus a 38-12. It's pretty much 30 seconds behind. Very well done, well executed in a live scenario, in a live format. Let's check in on Dolpin as he heads in for a second or third, I think, attempt on Nodric. Nodric is a tough boss because he's got a lot of health. It's a long fight. And then when you're doing a speed run, you want to try to kill him as fast as possible. So try to hit him as much as possible. But he does these sweeping attacks, which essentially, if you get hit by one, you're going off the edge probably half the time, right? Like, his design is meant to sweep you towards the edges. So you really have to be diligent about dodging or blocking, you know, last ditch. But yeah, like I said, the key to doing it fast is to hit him in the air as Dolpin gets swept again. It is not an easy fight. I think in some of my speedruns where I was almost sub-hour, I was there within I was at the boss probably within 45, 50 minutes, and I just lost to Nodric endless, like over and over and over again, you know? So definitely a fight you're going to want to practice if you consider speedrunning the game. It is a war of attrition and patience. You want to not get swept over the edge. It's tough. But let's check in on chat. How are you guys doing after the race? Let's see. Jumping Quest Enjoyer, I am here. Taitus, you can do this. Taitus did do this. Smash the Turtle is a Taitus enjoyer. Hagen is praying for the comeback as a Razzie fan. You can kill the guys who dump sand on you. Yes, you can jump up and whack them. Whack them out of their windows. Throngler. GG's, Taitus. Yeah, Nodric is merciless. The knockback is actually crazy. It's relentless. But Dolpin just making sure he's full health going into the fight. Getting a full hot dog. Let's see if he can do it here. Back into the Nodric fight. He's going to get rid of the extra enemies. Gets caught by the ground pound attack. It still can hit you if you're on the same side as him. His body can hit you as well as the shockwave. We're going to play it safe, heal up. Get as many air hits as possible. It's going to stay right side and tank the first hit of that sweeping attack. Try to hit him. The Cocksfoot is actually really good for this fight. Before these like weapon strategies were involved, I would use Don's Fly Swatters for the whole game just because I'm not a big fan of the Cocksfoot weapon. But oh, gets the stun. Very nice. But for this finals fight specifically, I would always switch to the Cocksfoot because it has just great stun and great high damage. And you're not going to get like a full combo for most weapons off. It's really like a one or two hit combo that the Cocksfoot just does really well. It just has a lot of end lag, it feels like, on the swings, which I don't prefer. But it's a very good weapon, especially for the speedrun with the stun, the stagger. Oh, a little bit of freezing. It's fine. It looks like he's doing really well getting air hits. Sweeping attack's not going to hit him, but it's careful because he might instantly do another one. Nope, he's going to go back into the air. And just like that, one more hit. Don't die, please. There it is. Okay. There's the finish. A third, I think third or fourth. I think it was third try. Nodric. Not an easy boss. And just 4 minutes later, Dolpin's going to finish out the run with a 42-32, I believe. 42-33. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jump King Quest, the speedrun. An absolutely insane speedrun. Very hard boss executions. Souls-like elements. Jump precision elements. It's got it all. It's got skips. It's got strategy. It's actually one of the coolest games I've ever played. I'm not even kidding. This game is awesome. If you haven't played it and you see this, give it a try. It is awesome. The devs deserve a lot more credit, a lot more sales, a lot more support. Literally I can't stress enough. I love this game. This game's so awesome. Yes, these three are all insane. These are the best three players in the world. They're all extremely fast. It is not easy to beat this game in under an hour, let alone 30 minutes or whatever the PB is currently set at. So, GG's, congrats everybody. What I'm going to do now is head into the Discord where we're going to hear from our competitors. Let me just rearrange some things here, and I need to unmute this so that you can hear them. I hope the race has been going good. All the audio and stuff has been good. Let me undeafen and talk to the lads. All right, guys. That was insane. Insane race. Holy. Razzie was right behind you, Taitus. He was literally one Nodric fight away. Insanely close.
Yeah, I saw. I was of course focused on doing the game, playing the game, and not. I wasn't aware if somebody's ahead of me or not. But the stress has eaten me up. It gobbled me up, and I had sweaty hands all game. Yeah, it wasn't my best performance, I would say. I wasn't able to show off some of the cool like trigger skips that you can do in sewers because I was just too all over the place.
Yeah.
The Nodric fight, I jumped off. I feel like a buffoon. He didn't actually kill me. I just literally jumped off.
That happens a lot. It does happen. Sometimes you're trying to dodge something and all of a sudden you just end up jumping yourself off the platform. So, understandable.
Yeah. Aside from like the perspective of skill in this game and precision inputs, what I love about this run is that there is a lot of RNG involved, but you can essentially master this RNG. So like learn all the situations that can happen with enemies, and well, practically, you can get ready for all that is being thrown at you, but it takes a lot of time and practice. So, but I'm glad I'm first. I totally was. Yeah, you never know what's gonna happen in a Jumping Quest speedrun.
Yeah, especially in a live setting as
you
well.
Risk so much.
A live setting is it's extra nerves when you're on a stage and racing other people. You know, I definitely have done some pogo stuck tournaments in the past where I was, I'm great at the run, but all of a sudden you're in a race versus someone else and you start shaking and you get a little freaked out. It can be a lot, but I will say you had first tried Nodric, first tried Fat Don, I believe. Second try, or I'm not Nodric. First try No Scome, first try Don, then you first tried Gruda's Champion, which is insane. And then a second try Nodric. So all in all, it's pretty clean execution, I would say.
Yeah, the run went pretty well, but I just wasn't ready.
Not.
I mean, I've practiced. I've over practiced, I think.
It's hard to be perfect, but I feel like that was a great representation of the run.
Congrats to all the runners because they've done really well. The time, even 42 minutes from Dolpin, it's still quite quick. It's just 5 minutes behind. Although 5 minutes is a lot in this game, if one mistake can snowball into a big time loss. So you're not always. It's not always possible to make that up, especially on some deaths against bosses because of the run back. 100%. Okay, but that's it from me.
All right, let's hear from Razzie, who actually made quite a comeback. You got off to an early deficit with a death to No Scome, but throughout the run you clawed it back.
Yeah, I died to No Scome. The Fat Dawn was pretty quick, I guess. And I mean, I died to the first boss, and
I will say your cockatrice fight was so fast. You got the stun on him.
Was very fast.
I think you made up a lot of time with that fight.
Yeah, and about the RNG part, I actually got a 2-star weapon from Fat Don.
Oh wow,
Like 2-star weapons actually give out more damage sometimes. They have
that
better stats.
that's actually super
That's
lucky that you
just
got that
RNG part.
because that's one of
Yeah,
the
you
weapons you
can
use.
get
Yeah.
one from star to 3-star, and they're really you don't really get them often because it's like 1% or something. Get them.
Very nice. Yeah, the fly swatters
Yeah.
is one of the key weapons used in the run. So that's amazing that you got basically a 2-star
Yeah,
during.
you use them for 2 bosses,
Yeah.
and then you switch the weapon after another boss. Yeah, I died to 3 bosses, and like it cost me a bit of time. That just happens. Like that's all part of the RNG. Depends what the bosses do for attack patterns.
And even with the deaths, you were still only 40 seconds behind, I believe. And you first tried Nodric, which made up time on Tai 2's second try
Yeah,
Nodric.
I
So
actually practiced Notrik the most probably because earlier, so when I first started speedrunning, I died pretty much every time to him.
he is tough. And also, sometimes he doesn't even kill you; just sweeps you off the edge. So it's really a test of patience, which is kind of hard when you're at the end of a run trying to finish out and go fast.
Yeah.
All right. And last
Oh,
but not least,
so that's just all.
let's hear from Dolpin. How'd it go, Dolpin? How do you
I
feel?
am. Yes. I'm so sad that I didn't do well than my pace and my record. Uh, the Fat Dawn was so bad at my time. I died for Fat Dawn and died at sewer. Poison. Also, I got poison at the sewer. So that time, my face and mental was break. So
Hmm.
after it was more better. Like I was really confident at the Gnodric, but it was very bad at the last time also.
Yeah. That definitely. I did see the poison mushroom in the sewer in that little the skinny hallway get you before Fat Dawn. That's tough.
Yes.
Those mushrooms sometimes they RNG how they're placed, so sometimes they sneak up on you. It's tough. But
I keep save and exit, but the poison was still there and it explodes like 3 times. Yes,
yeah, that's
it was very unlucky.
unlucky. Yeah, definitely unlucky for sure.
Ye- Yes,
How many times did you die to Nodric?
2 times.
I think he
Two
third tried
times.
it.
I
Yeah.
just want to say that sometimes with the equipment we have, which is bare minimum, it's just if you don't upgrade in the fungal fields, or even if you upgrade, it's just like level 4 or 5 armor and a level 5 shield, and that's it. There's nothing there.
I
You're
don't
you're not
upgrade at
leveled
all.
up.
I only
Yeah,
have
so
the
you're
level 3 armor and the 5 shield you get at the
oh then
last one.
Razzie has cut off even more corners, cut more corners.
And you
So
even
it's
just back alt into one attribute to have you like no HP. Yeah.
yes, that also. If Nodric decides to kill you, he will just kill you, and you can't do anything about it. So it's not entirely like Dolphin's fault that he died. It's never your fault, really.
Uh,
Yeah, we are
when when
playing
I when I
like
do
with
my when I do my own run, I actually usually don't die at Grodrick, so I was very sad at this time.
You put a lot of practice into the final boss because he's tough. He sweeps you off.
It's
Yeah, if you
true.
die, it probably brings you down, but it's a race, so you have to finish it. Sometimes you don't want to because the game is so rough. But it was fun running with you. Thank you for agreeing to this. It was a lot of emotions, but also very positive, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. GG's everybody. Hopefully we can do more races like this again soon. You know, you guys are all extremely talented, extremely fast, and I think this race especially with all the talent on display does a lot to put this game on display, which is really good because I love this game and I'm sure you guys also really love this game. It's really sick. So hopefully everyone in the chat enjoyed watching some of the best players in the world playing Jump King Quest. And yeah, GG's Taitus with the win. And let's do this again soon, guys. All right. And then I'll switch back and say thank you for watching, guys. Follow if you haven't on my stream here. And yeah, don't say thanks to me. Say thank you to Taitus. He was the organizer of all this. I was graciously asked to be a host. So I'm thankful to him, of course. But GG's, guys. Go and buy Jump King Quest. It's a great game, I promise, if you haven't. All right. Goodbye, everybody.